Hello, everyone. So this is a call once again with Amira, and today we have joining us. We have Mark Sherman. He's an angel reader, psychic intuitive. So we're going to ask him some questions. So you're all going to get your healthy dose of woo-woo today. Um, the so just a little bit of background. I personally am a sexual energy coach. So those of you who watch my channel may know that. Amira, she does relationship coaching as well as several other things. We're going to put links down below this video so you can kind of click on, click to find out more through our websites. So yeah, before we get into too much conversation here, I want to go ahead and ask Mark if there's anything he would like to tell the audience watching today.
Hi, my name's Mark Sherman. I am a angel reader. I am a psychic, a clairvoyant psychic medium, and I just want to say hello, and I'm happy to be here.
Lovely. How about yourself?
And
Any, go ahead.
I said, would you like me to elaborate on more? I'm not sure.
No, I'm sure as we start asking questions, it'll all kind of elaborate anyway. So,
Okay.
um, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit, Amira?
Well, I do wellness and energy healing, performance coaching, and it's all in the healing arts. So, as Akal said, you guys will have an access to the website that will give you more insight about what I do in the healing arts.
Excellent. All right, thank you. All right, so let me go ahead and I'll ask Mark the first question. So I think this is like the most sort of I'm going to say probably the most sort of practical question. I wanted to get this out of the way up front, which is assuming everyone has access to communication with angels, as I believe you told me that each one of us has these angels around us all the time. And I think you said something like there's three of them, something along those lines. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But assuming that everyone has ability to communicate with these angels, what are the various ways they might communicate with us? Is it through feelings? Is it through words, through visuals? Or is that very, well, I guess it's probably particular for each individual. So that's my first question, Mark.
My answer is yes, yes, and yes.
Uh,
So the moment here's how I tell this to clients quite commonly, and this is just an explanation of who, what, when, where, and why. The moment our soul is created from God, from source, from the divine energy, however you like to define it, doesn't matter how. Um, they're flexible with that. And I say they because God is genderless. Has no gender. Same with the angels, they have no gender. Gender is something that's very third dimensional because we are here and our bodies have gender because we reproduce. Um, and reproducing allows for more vessels to be created for souls to be living inside of, and that's very important for us. And the moment you're intentionally and thoughtfully and mindfully created from the creator, he assigns you a guardian angel, and that one guardian angel has been with you through all of your incarnations and will be with you throughout eternity.
mm-hmm.
And that guardian angel is always with you, guiding you, protecting you, and giving you what people call their intuition, what people call your gut instinct. It's our divine knowledge. It's our ability to receive guidance from the divine. We all have this. This is all intuitive, and some of us are better at hearing it than others. And so with every incarnation that you have, and many of us have had very many incarnations, and some of us are just starting out. You also have two more guardian angels. So we have three. All of us have three guardian angels. The other two are with us in this incarnation because there are certain choices and lessons and knowledge that we chose to learn in this lifetime. Every lifetime is intentional. Nearly every lifetime is crafted. You make a purposeful choice with every incarnation. And this is guided by the divine, with your guardian angels, with God, so that you choose an incarnation that serves you and everyone that you touch. It is a massive quantum puzzle. It is greater than our minds can ever ever try to even begin to understand. And in fact, living in a third dimensional body, we are never meant to understand it. We're only meant to experience it. And so as you live here in this third dimension, as you live in your incarnated body, you have guidance if you choose to accept it. Mind you, Earth itself, as a third dimensional planet, is the only planet of its kind to have free will. And as you're here, yes, you have this wonderfully crafted choice of an incarnation to accomplish knowledge and accomplish wisdom and accomplish these lessons that we all chose to individually have in this lifetime. But yet you arrive here completely forgotten of your path. You have no memories of why you're here. You have no memories of who you used to be. And your spiritual journey as you are here, it's up to you to apply yourself, to discover who you are, why you're here, and what your spiritual goals are. And you can, and our angels communicate to us when we reach out to them. They're always with us. And sometimes even if you don't reach out, they're going to nudge you and say, hey, buddy, you may think you want to go this way, but we're trying to tell you, you should really go over there. And there's many, many people that will get knocked upside the head left and right until they finally say, oh, you guys are telling me to do that. Oh, okay, I'll listen now. Finally, I'll listen. And they're going to communicate to us in many ways. Gut instinct is a good way. Coins, finding random coins. Feathers. Feathers are a great way for communication. If you find a feather randomly, and it's this beautiful, perfect feather, it's just sitting there. That's a gift. That's your angels saying, hi, we're with you. We see you, we hear you, we love you, we're guiding you, we're here for you. That's all they do. Us. Then lots and lots of other things, but they're high vibrational. They're on the sixth dimension. They can be in a million places at one time. They're not, that's just what they can do. They also communicate through music. So if you're listening to the radio in the car and all of a sudden this song comes on and it completely speaks to you and it's exactly what you needed to hear, and you truly feel like God just spoke to you. Well, he did. And that was intentional. And that's what you're receiving, is you're receiving this gift that says, I'm affirming that we hear you and you are being guided and we love you. We're with you. These are gifts that they're never going to give up on you. Your angels will always communicate with you. They will always attempt at communication with you. And they will, even if you never acknowledge them your entire life, they will always unconditionally love you and guide you.
Yeah.
But the moment you start to listen to them, that's when true change happens.
Definitely. So I want to piggyback on that question really quick with kind of two quasi questions. One is, so signs and symbols, synchronicities, finding stones or feathers and things like that. Like a lot of these things, I would say in contemporary modern culture where communication is so very direct, we have email, we have this and that. And I think a lot of times people try to process this idea of communication with the divine or whatever their guides are. They try to process it through the lens of contemporary living, which is direct communication. But just as much of what you described is very indirect. So, but I do also know that, at least I'm going to, in my own personal life, when I'm communicating with my guides, yes, oftentimes it comes through synchronicities. But oftentimes, particularly in the last couple of years, I've managed to develop more of a sort of direct communication. But the direct communication is very interesting in that, so for instance, I usually just use yes, no questions, and I'll either feel my energy pick up or go down. So it's like a yes or a no, right? And so the other thing that I've also kind of discovered, which is if I overuse the telephone, in this case, I'm being symbolic here, it's as if I'm on a telephone. If I keep calling them too much, there's almost, this is what I sometimes feel, is I get the message of like, oh, you're being insecure.
No,
being insecure and you're seeking answers for questions you already know the answer to.
Yes.
So that's I guess my first kind of quasi question, which is it's related to one's desire to have direct communication with these entities in the sense of for me, I can feel energy pick up or drop. So I wonder if you might share your perception of your direct communication. Like when you communicate with the angels directly, what are you perceiving? And then secondly, the next piggyback question is being able to determine the information coming through, and you covered this a little bit with Amira and I earlier before we got on the call, which is how do we differentiate if the entity that we're communicating with is indeed our higher guides versus negative,
lower energies.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Yeah. So from my experience, communicating is not going to be the average person. I'm an outlier. I hear words. I see clairvoyant, vivid, colorful images. And as an angel reader, that will be an outlier compared to the average person. The average person who's hearing this conversation today, who is wondering how will I know it's my angels talking to me? Your angels are going to leave you feeling satisfied. Your angels are going to leave you feeling loved and guided. Lower energies don't even have that ability. It's because of their intuitive, their vibration is lower. It's disharmonious. It's not going to be satisfying. It's going to leave you longing and wondering and insecure and unsatisfied and unhappy. A high vibrational being such as a spirit guide or a high vibrational spirit guide, an ascended master, a guardian angel, that energy is going to feel, it will leave you feeling satisfied and loved. And because love is such a high vibrational energy, they will leave you feeling loved and guided and satisfied. What was the rest of your question? I got lost.
The other was like in terms of your direct communications, like when you pick up the phone and you want to call the angel, so to speak.
They don't want us. They don't want us. How it's difference between lower and upper vibrational and lower vibrational. That's the question. Okay.
Well, there was also, I'm very curious about your own personal process in terms of like when you're connecting, how it is that you
differentiate between higher and lower energies.
Well, I guess the differentiation, but also kind of like what's your process?
I don't have a process. I could always do this.
Yeah.
I don't understand any other life without my experience. That's why I'm saying my experience is going to be very different from the average person watching this video. My process is I get downloads of information that come in a flash. It's like a flash of knowledge. It's like an encyclopedia sometimes. Sometimes it's just a page. Sometimes it's a paragraph. And I put it in the reference of a book. Sometimes it's just a phrase or a word, but I get specific words, specific word for words come through me. And I just hear and repeat. It's not even that I hear and repeat. I know what to say word for word. And they're speaking through me as if my body belongs to them. And it does. That is my mission on this planet. That is why I'm here, to communicate for the divine, for angels, to every soul on this planet, to help better their experience, to validate their experience, to know that they are guided, that they have a purpose, that they have spiritual work to do, and how to keep them on their path so that they can fulfill all of the choices that they wanted to fulfill in this lifetime, whatever that may be. It's to keep them on that spiritual path that they designed, that belongs to them. Now, how do I know I'm hearing up higher vibrational voices, beings, energies versus the lower energies, lower entities, and all the other nasty things that irritate every single one of us? It's the directional. For me, it's a directionality, content, and quality of the message. For me, I get a directionality. So anything above this eye line or throat chakra area, anything that's up here and above me, that's higher vibrational. That's a spirit guide. That's an ascended master. That's a guardian angel. And I do speak to all three. And anything that's kind of below this area here, that's lower energy.
Mhm.
They are tricksters. They can come in pretending to be your spirit guide, pretending to be an angel, but the message is what's quite different. It's a lower feeling. The message comes from lower areas, and I can hear it directionally, like a 360 direction around me, just like
Mhm.
we all can hear. I hear it from underneath. I hear it from behind. I don't hear it from above. And the quality of the content, if you hear messages that come through that are not speaking in positive words, angels only speak in positives to encourage, to comfort, to enlighten, to guide, to protect. They only speak in positives. Spirit guides generally only speak in positives because they have this, they are higher vibrational. Lower vibrationals, they don't necessarily always speak. They don't really ever speak in positives. They're going to come through, and they're going to come through with a seed of doubt,
Mhm.
a seed of criticism, a seed of, I don't want you to talk to me. What are you reaching out for? You're not enough.
Mhm.
And that little seed they'll plant with a veil of, oh, it's me, your spirit guide. You suck.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
that's a lower energy. And
Cool.
when that happens, you can easily tell them, easily, because you are alive. You're a spirit in a body, and you have the authority to tell any spirit across the veil to not speak to you. And if a lower energy comes through and tries to screw with you and tell you that you're not good enough and try to push you off your path, if they're imitating an angel, if they're imitating a high vibrational being and they're just messing with you, you can
Mhm.
directly communicate to them without any lack of confidence and know that you have the authority to do so. Tell
Mhm.
them, do not speak with me. I do not give you permission to speak with me ever again. And I want you to leave my presence now.
Mhm.
They have to, they must, they must comply. That is the rules of Earth.
Mhm.
Do not be afraid of them. They're nothing. They're bugs. They're bugs.
Mhm.
We're talking about divine beings here. And
Yeah.
what was the other question?
Well, I think you got it. You answered it pretty well.
Okay.
I think like
Also, oh, wait, no, I had to add to something. I apologize. Put a pin
okay.
in that. It came back to me. It was that communication with spirit guides and higher vibrational beings and guardian angels, it's not meant to be a handbook or a manual of your life.
Mhm.
We are here with free will. This is our life. Yes, it's important to follow your spiritual path. Yes, it's very important to try to find and stay on your predestined path. Why you are here, to find why you are here and to accomplish that. But if you want to know whether or not to go to the store today, don't bother them with that stuff. And it's not necessarily, that's not the right way to say it. The
Mhm.
truth is the more that you speak to them back and forth, it raises the opportunity for lower entities and lower energies to come in and mess with you. So
Mhm.
keep that line open for important and thoughtful communication that is mindful, that is that serves a purpose. The angels are not going to get really involved in our everyday life choices that are not spiritual path choices, because a lot of that doesn't matter to our spiritual path. Whether or not you go to volleyball today, whether or not you go to the store today, whether or not you should, this or that, the little lifetime choices that we do all the time, it's not going to really throw us off our spiritual path. So it really doesn't involve the angels. And the more you use that phone call line and pick up
Mhm.
and talk, you're inviting the opportunity for potential for lower energies to come in and mess with you. And they're going to mess with us anyway. So
Yep.
let's not give them any more opportunities than they already have. And it takes enough energy and work for most light workers, such as all three of us, such as ourselves. We all have to manage lower energies and lower entities. And when we see them, we all have our ways to manage those. And those are really very important. There's a book that I highly recommend by Robert Bruce called the Handbook of Psychic Protection. It's something like that. It's a very good handbook on how to learn to manage and handle the lower energies and entities that mess with every single one of us, so that we know when we're being messed with and
Yep.
we know how to speak with our higher guides. and we know how to differentiate between the two. Because when you speak across the veil, no matter who you are, all of us have the opportunity to do this and receive communication across the veil. Know who you are speaking with every time you do this. And if it's lower energy, do not engage. Always work in the light. Always walk in the light. Always walk in high vibrational. Only communicate to your spirit guides, your guardian angels, ascended masters. And some of us have many highly ascended ancestors from this life and from past lives that are still working with us, that haven't reincarnated, that are still on the other side, guiding us and working with us to help us have the best experience we can while we're incarnated here.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's
You're
a
welcome.
great answer. Like I said, I think this kind of information is really practical. And I think in particular, like I said, I've dabbled with moments of insecurity in my own life where like I reach out desperately looking for answers or so. And again, it's like overusing that phone. And but like I said, fortunately, over the last year or two, my sensitivity to the guidance has become much more clear. And I've learned, you know, they don't want to they want me to make my own decisions when it comes to a lot of the basic shit, like just figure it out. So
Yeah.
so thank you for that answer. Amira,
Yeah.
would you like to ask a question now?
Sure. Thank you so much, Mark.
Of course.
And
I'm
my
happy to be here.
question is, we all go well, whether we are, as you said, light workers or just even not, but we all go through twists and tribulations of life. And staying equanimous, staying centered is quite a challenge for all of us, as I see it. So how can we stay focused? What is an easy practical steps to stay equanimous in the eye of the storm, to stay in high vibration, high frequency, and keep focusing on the big picture and not get like overwhelmed with the daily, sometimes painful reality that we are facing?
So it's very important to remember that all of us are here having a very human experience. And of the qualities of having a very human experience is experiencing our lives fully, the good, the bad, the best, and the worst of how we perceive of what we're going through. Even in the worst of it all, there are always opportunities for growth. Even in the most mundane days, there are opportunities for growth. And in the best experiences, when you're mindful and present, there are huge opportunities for growth that we all get to have. And these are gifts that are given to us all the time. The good, the bad, and the ugly, the most mundane and everything. And it's important to remember, as long as your soul is incarnating a physical body, you have to learn to grow like a tree. Allow your branches to grow high to the heavens. Exercise your high vibrational experiences with spirit guides, with chakra work, with energy work. Really, truly experience your energy body fully from your root to your crown. But you have to have both. You have to have balance. Your body requires your energy to be heart-centered and below so that your body can thrive and be healthy. If you spend too much time in your upper chakras and your upper energies and not enough time in your lower energies, you're going to notice fatigue and disease and issues with your body that will come up. You're spending too much time in the heavens. Come back down into your body again. You must exercise a balance between the top chakras and the lower chakras. Your center chakra being your heart chakra. That's where your soul resides, right there, okay? And this is your energy body. So how to stay high vibrational when it's difficult? A lot of people experience, Well, I would always recommend always managing your lower energies away. So salt bath, I recommend salt bath if you don't have a bathtub. Bathing or swimming in salt water is an excellent choice. Lower energies, when they can't be in salt, that grounds them. It recycles that energy back into the earth. The earth is a great purifier. It does that for us. It's no coincidence that 70% of the earth's surface is covered in salt water. It's intentional. Managing your lower energies through people smudge and sage. A lot of people lean into crystals. Crystals are hugely important for anyone who's sensitive to energies. I would highly recommend buying Robert Simmons' book, The Book of Stones, and studying crystals and learning what would work for you. And I would recommend reading it from back to cover. I have no interest in Robert Simmons' work. I don't get any kickback from this. No money is given to me by any means by recommending any books. I am just telling you what I have used to learn and gain my knowledge. And there are many stones that are protective, that can help you ground, that can help you raise your energy up to angels, to your spirit guides, and many that they do. The crystals are here, and they were given to this planet intentionally to be of service to the humans that reside on this planet. So I highly recommend crystals. So if you're not feeling very heart-centered and very heart-centered or heart mindfulness, and I would recommend wearing a rose quartz. That's one of those beautiful heart-centered stones there is. If you don't have that and you want to spend a little more money, get a kunzite, get a morganite. They're lovely heart-centered stones. And I say I'm referencing the tree of life. You have to exercise both sides sometimes at the same time of your energy body. Allow your roots to grow into the earth and be strong. Really develop your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus. Then you'll be well grounded in your body. It will serve your body well, and it will serve you well, because your solar plexus chakra is part of your lower chakras, because while you're here on earth, you have free will to cultivate your life in any way you choose. And that chakra will serve you in that regard. That energy body and that part of your body will. Now your throat, your third eye, and your crown up, that's your ability to explore into the spiritual realm, so that you can connect with your spiritual path, so that you can understand when messages come to you from your spirit guides and from your angels, what they're saying, when they're saying it. You can be mindful for it, and you can accept those guiding answers. And they're not here to tell you what to do. They're here to guide you when you reach out for guidance. A lot of people don't understand that the angels will speak with us when it's intentionally appropriate. There's always intention and purpose for communication across the veil. It's not just to say, hey, how you doing? It's not just a talking phone call. It's an intentional conversation. And it's brief, it's mindful, it's important, it serves a purpose.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Can you please repeat again the name of the author and the book for the crystals?
Oh, Robert Simmons, and it's The Book of Stones. I have it right here, actually. I'll show you the cover. I highly recommend this book. Notice my placements in there. There's several books I recommend, including that one. Another one is, and again, I don't get any money or kickbacks. I'm just trying to do my best to communicate and help people across their spiritual journey. This is another book I recommend highly. I read this book cover to cover twice with my angels on my shoulder the whole time. And that book, about 80% of it, 90% of it is correct, on point. And if you want to know what happens on the other side of the veil after you die, and while you're there spending time until your next incarnation, that's why it's titled Between Death and Life by Dolores Cannon.
Yes.
This book is written by a woman who is a hypnotist. She wasn't a light worker. She wasn't a spiritual medium. She had no psychic gifts whatsoever. She just was gifted with the ability to hypnotize people to a deep state of hypnosis where she was communicating with their spirit guides on the other side. She recorded every single one of her sessions and transcribed them into books so that regular people could learn what happens when we're not on Earth. Because what a lot of people don't understand is this is just an avatar that houses my spirit for this lifetime. And we are here temporarily, quite temporarily, as a matter of fact. We're over there on the other side of the veil most of the time. And when I say time, there's no time on that side. We're eternally over there, and we take little trips and vacations away to go into a third dimensional incarnation, experience a life, and then go back and say, okay, what'd you learn? Oh my God. And then you could talk about it and you process it. Third dimensional living is the most efficient and fastest way to spiritually ascend your vibration. That's why we do it. It's like a trip. And on the other side, this is how long it takes for a lifetime. Okay, guys, I'm going to incarnate. Ready? Okay, see you in a little while. Done. I'm back. That's how long it appears to be on the other side. So when you are done and you die and you go back there, and I hate the word death because there's no such thing as death. Our body dies. Our soul stays the same. You get all the knowledge that you gained in 80 years, however long you were here, which is a long time. Trust me, it takes forever to get through this. Over there, they're like, you just left. Oh, you're back? Great, cool. How'd it go? You're going to open your eyes and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that took so long. And all of the knowledge and wisdom that you gain in your lifetime here, no matter what it is, you get to keep it. And more than that, you get to share it with God. When you bring it back to him, and he knows everything that you knew in that lifetime. And I say he, they, she, whatever you want, doesn't matter. They hear everything and they experience every experience you experienced. They experience every thought, every feeling, every emotion, every choice, every tear, every laugh. They get to keep a carbon copy of it for God. And then you get to keep all of it for yourself. And your soul grows more. And then you say, hey, I got to grow and enjoy things. Maybe I'll go back and do it again. Maybe I'll stay here for a while. Maybe not. But that's the whole point of it. God created all of us because one day he wanted to know. How better to know than to take pieces of himself, create life, and send it out to the universe with free will to do whatever it wanted to do, so that it could come back and share that with him, so that he could know. God just wanted to know. That's why we're all here. We're learning for ourselves and for God. How beautiful is that? The good, the bad, all of it. There is no bad, because in life, when we're alive and we're incarnated, we see bad as things that could kill us, things that could hurt us, and then the disease and the death, and then like, oh, my COPD, all these, I have hypertension and I have this foot got amputated. This is temporary. You're going to get through it. And when you don't get through it, and when your body finally gives out, you get to wake up over there and say, okay, well, that stunk. That was pretty rough. I didn't like being diabetic. I didn't like, living in a war zone. I didn't like this, or that. But you lived through it. You experienced it. You can design your next life and see where that takes you if you choose to reincarnate again. But all of the knowledge gained, the good and the bad, all of it, it's purposeful because it's shared with Source. Source knows. God knows.
Thank you, Mark.
Sorry, I ramble.
Oh, no. It's good. It's excellent.
Yeah.
You given great little tidbits as you go along, so it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question. This is, I guess this is kind of one of those insecurity questions, and I'm going to ask it on behalf of humanity.
Please do.
So and this is for the angels.
Always, it's none of this voice is me. It's all angels.
Well, of course. Yeah,
of course.
So
no one wants to hear what Mark Sherman wants to say. This is all the angels.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the question. So, do the angels have any warnings for humanity in general regarding our near future, let's say the next 10 years? and what's important for people to be conscious of?
They're saying don't get wrapped up into the chaos of it all. Earth is going through a very difficult transition of energy right now. The end of the Kali Yuga was in 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar, and Kaliyuga, Kali Yuga. Look it up. I'm not going into it. That's the 4 phases of the Earth, essentially. It's the ages, the age. We were just in the dark age that ended in 2012. We're going to be spending the next 300 years in transition between the dark age, which just ended in 2012, and then the new age, which will be dawning. So we're in the dawn, the transition period. It's a 300-year period, and it's gonna be rough. Gonna suck. So the angels are telling us that you have volunteered to be here at this time. You have accepted an incarnation at this time for a purpose. You are here because you chose to be here, because you are strong enough to be here. You are enough just as you are. You will figure it out. Whatever situation you are in right now, you're here because you needed to be here. No one forced the hand. That doesn't happen. Incarnations are not forced. So if you're here on Earth right now, there's a purpose to you being here. And we, all of us who are here right now, knew before reincarnating that this was going to be a tough reincarnation. This was going to stink for all of us in different degrees. Now, what's their advice for the next 10 years? Stay purposeful, stay mindful. Don't get wrapped up in all of it. All of the chaos on this planet, know what's your battle and know what's not. Know what's important. Are you operating from a place of ego? Are you operating from a place of heart-centered mindfulness? They're encouraging you to reflect upon your life and your choices and understand. Try to operate from a place of a heart-centered mindfulness, a place of unconditional love for yourself and for others. Recognize that we all have faults. Learn to forgive. Learn to understand that all of us are blindly running through this journey, and we're all doing our best. Some are doing much better than others. There are many out there that are not doing very well at all, and they're making terrible decisions that are hurting many people. And if we operate from a place of heart-centeredness and mindfulness, you're operating from a place without ego. You're operating from a place that does not promote or prolong the pain and suffering of yourself or other people. Please be mindful of this as you make choices every day in our lives, and recognize what you can control and what you can't control. And don't get wrapped up in the things you can't control. That is not your battle to fight. Love when you can, forgive when you can, show generosity and compassion when you can. God doesn't expect perfection from any of us. God only expects your best. And if you are truly doing your best, God knows this. Your angels know this. So all you can do is your best. And that's good enough. You are good enough when you do your best. Even when you think or you reflect on something you thought, I could have done better. But you know what? In your moment, that moment you were doing your best, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up.
Yep. Thank you for that, Mark.
Sure.
So Amira, you have another question for Mark.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just gonna piggyback on actually what you said, which is I kind of phrased it in a way, if there is a way to exit the matrix and change and choose the reality that one wants in the midst of chaos. Mark, I think he answered the question in a way, but still, for instance, for somebody like me who studied folk medicine and Ayurveda and natural wellness, I'm very much against any kind of jabs or anything that is into the body that is not natural, and anything that can be forced on me or anybody who knows about natural healing, who understands how the body works, who kind of more uh reserved with their energy. Like my energy, in my opinion, your energy is your currency. So you need to be really kind of you need to be careful with where your energy is going. So my question is there a way to exit the chaos and live in a parallel reality while staying in the 3D world and not being really kind of forced to follow the matrix and the rules and the dark? Is there a way to choose that reality, to live in a parallel reality that you choose?
Mhm. We all have free will, all of us, except for those who are being strong armed by their governments, by their situations, by where they reside, and living amongst the chaos that is different from country to country all over the globe. And again, that comes down to do your best. When you are given free will, and you have free will, you have a choice. Choose to be mindful, choose to be kind, choose to be generous, forgiving, loving. And that will always serve yourself and others best. And how to escape the matrix? Oh, no, no, no. We're in the matrix. We're alive. We're here. It's navigating what we do down here. When you start to follow your spiritual path and you start to wake up to a spiritual path in your life, you start to recognize that many people are asleep. So many people aren't even in consciousness. They aren't even conscious of a spirituality of themselves or anyone else. And their decisions are generally almost 100% ego-based. And their decisions, unbeknownst to them, cause themselves pain and suffering, and they cause pain and suffering to so many more people. We can only control what we do. We can only exercise our free will with our own choices. We cannot control the free will of others in any way. The average person, and even the people who are in authority, who run the government or whatever you want to call it, they can only control the free will of the people so much. The laws can only control the free will of the people so much. It can control a lot of free will, a ton in some countries, but there still is your own heart. You still have your own heart and your own energy that belongs to you that no one can touch. Even though your body is walking the walk and you're talking the talk, it doesn't mean you have to follow suit with it. Inside, you can harbor your own sense of self, your own sense of kindness and joy and goodness. Your own sense of high vibrational living can come with you no matter where you are on this globe. That's inside of you. No one can change that.
Yeah. So I have a real quick question, and then I think we're getting close to time here. But so the final quick question is just kind of, it's an add-on to that question, which has to do with, we live in an information age where there's so much, right? There's just so much content.
So
I
much.
don't know if the angels have like a quick and dirty guideline that one could follow in order to access what I believe, kind of what you just described, is the ability to use your deeper sense of intuition for discernment. So other words, if you're scanning information, because there's a lot of BS, there's a lot of propaganda, but at the same time, I don't feel it's a good idea to turn our backs on information. Like, we need to, because the information is also the freedom in a lot of ways. So do the angels have some sort of like good, truthful information will feel like this, where the propaganda is going to feel like that?
Correct. Well, and they're saying kind of the same response, but in a different vein. They're saying, all of us can discern what information is. Yes, the internet and everything else is full of tons of information and misinformation and yada, yada, yada. Look at it through a filter of goodness. Look at the information through a filter of high vibrational beings. Is this information you're receiving? Does it surround releasing the ego? Does it involve unconditional love, kindness, practicing gratitude, and mindfulness? Does it, most importantly, does it respect the free will of others? Again, we're not down on this planet to intentionally force our hand upon someone else's free will. We're here to respect each other's free will. I have my own free will to determine and guide my life, as do all of us. We never want to communicate or force upon someone else our choice. We have to respectfully allow others to have their own, to exercise their own free will. Is the information that you're receiving, does it allow you to focus on yourself and let others choose their own destiny? Or does it force the hand of everyone? Does it push an agenda? That's not free will.
Yeah.
You can't push an agenda on others. Let others live. And as long as they're living peacefully and they're not in your backyard, don't worry about it.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think it's just my quick 2 cents is, for me anyway, what I've kind of learned is that those who are sort of manipulating things around the world, they hide behind pretty words. So you have to feel deeper beneath the pretty words they're using, because they're going to say things that we're all going to be like, yeah, we all should preserve the environment, or yeah, we all should accept one another. But what's the, at least of myself, when I see certain agendas or narratives put out in the world, part of me has a deeper sense of like, oh, that's bullshit. But it comes from a feeling space. It doesn't come from a place of, these are my ideals, or these pretty words fit my identity. It comes from a deeper space, because even though the pretty words may indeed fit my identity and what I may believe, but it's who's saying it and what are their intentions behind, the intentions behind what they're saying. So, so before we wrap it up, Amira, do you have any sort of like final questions for Mark?
No, I think for this session, I think Mark covered a wide spectrum. And thank you again, Mark, for being this wonderful channel. So
Happy to
I
be
thank you
here.
so much for your presence and for being here.
Well, the angels are grateful for the opportunity to speak through me to anyone who's listening. And thank you for having me. This has been a delight.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. All right, so with that, I'll stop record. All right. Recording is okay. All right, I think it record stopped. Oh, did Amira drop out?
Yeah.
I guess she
She
did.
signed off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I see. And intentionally. Okay. All right, that
Oh,
was
there
fun.
she is.
Oh, wait.